Hi guys, I wanted to talk to you about what I have read the past week, which was Genrethon week, and I read quite a few books so that I could get them off my TBR list and give them away. Probably most of them. Except ones that were first in series. I like to keep those because obviously I want to finish the series, so. The very first thing I read this week was Hello, Mrs. Pigglewiggle by Betty McDonald, drawings by Hilary Knight. And I don't remember what I gave this. I'm thinking I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. It was my children's fiction. Very cute. Very cute. I don't know if I'm going to talk about all of these because I did videos every single day, so maybe I should just tell you what I read. So this was the first one, and it was children's fiction. The next was, I considered it middle grade. It says young adult on Goodreads, but as I explained before, I still think this would have been middle grade for me even when I was younger. Confessions of a Teen Nanny by Victoria Ashton. And I really enjoyed this one very much. So this was my middle grade read for the week. The next thing was This Pen for Hire, which is a Jane Austen mystery by Laura Levine. This was really quite a good book. It surprised me. The mystery was obvious, but still was good. That was my mystery for the week. Wake by Lisa McMahon. Loved it. Loved it. Cannot wait to read the other 2 books. So this one I will be keeping because I need to read the rest of the series. Oh, Teen Nanny I'll be keeping too because I got to read the next 2 too, which I really enjoyed it, so I can't wait to read the others. But this one I loved, and this I was considering my fantasy for the week. The next is The Poison Eaters and Other Stories by Holly Black. I enjoyed this. I remember I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. There were a couple stories that I didn't like as much as I did the rest of them, but I still enjoyed it. So this was my paranormal read for the week. The next is Daisy Miller by Henry James. This one I gave, I think, a 3 out of 5 stars. This one I really didn't discuss. This one was just okay. It really didn't keep my attention. I was struggling to try to get through it. I really did not like Daisy at all. She got on my last nerve. I did not understand why Winterbourne was even interested in her. So I struggled through this. So I feel like 3 out of 5 stars is like being very generous. But it is a classic. So I felt bad, but it was my opinion. So this was my classic for Genrethon week. The next is my young adult for the week, which was Forever by Judy Blume. Didn't really care for it. 2.5 to 3 stars, but it was my young adult. You Can Never Find a Rickshaw When It Monsoons, The World in One Cartoon a Day by Mo Williams. I enjoyed this, thought it was pretty good. This I was actually considering my travel for the week, travel nonfiction, because that is what it is categorized as on Goodreads. And it actually was pretty good. I learned some things that I didn't know about countries, and the humor in it, there was some humor that was actually quite funny. So I enjoyed it. This was my travel nonfiction. The next is Gustav Alice by Doug TenNapel. This was fabulous. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I'm considering this my graphic novel because I ended up not reading Sarah Scribbles. I read this instead because I got it from the library. I loved this book. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was very interesting how they brought in what I considered as Jesus and Satan. That's what it seemed like. Because Joe in here has holes in his hands, which Jesus has holes in his hands, and like the way they were referencing things, it was very interesting. I did not expect to find that in this book. It was a pleasant surprise. But it's an interesting tale, and I actually felt like it was just rushing towards the end. I kind of felt like we could have drawn it out just a little bit more. I'm kind of hoping that there's going to be more to the story, that this isn't the only one, that there'll be another one that comes out, or maybe there already is, I don't know. I loved this. Absolutely loved it. And the last thing I read this morning before I went to church was Fade Out Smile by Casey Renee Kaiser. This is one that I had been sent for review. It is a book of poetry, and it's a darker poetry, which is totally fine. I enjoyed, but there was cussing in it, and for me, I don't know what it is. Cussing just is not poetic to me. I felt like the poetry would be fine, and then it was just like you hit a brick wall whenever you read the cuss words. It just, to me, that is not poetic. It's not pretty to hear. But I know life isn't pretty. I get that. So poetry is expressing life, but I don't know. I hated reading that because I just felt like I was hitting a brick wall. But besides that, I mean, it's good poetry. It's definitely got a darker theme to it, which, like I said, is totally fine, but I don't know. I don't know even what to rate it. I think I ended up rating it 3 out of 5 stars because I just felt like that cussing it ruined it for me. So that is it. This was obviously my poetry. I read quite a bit this week for Genrethon. I was actually really happy that I was able to get through those and through so many genres. I feel like I succeeded this week. So that's it, and I will see you guys later.